This is yet another MBA GOAT, a podcast featuring conversations with the greatest of all time MBA alumni from the Naveen Jindal School of Management at the University of Texas at Dallas. We're here to celebrate the outcomes of graduate management education and to identify remarkable examples of how the MBA program here at the Jindal School has transformed the lives of our alumni. Now, here's Dr. Monica Powell, Senior Associate Dean and Graduate Dean at the Jindal School. Take it away, Monica.
Well, hello there. This is Monica Powell. I'm the Senior Associate Dean and Graduate Dean at the Naveen Jindal School of Management at the University of Texas at Dallas. And boy, am I one excited dean this afternoon. It is such a pleasure to have Newsha Mirzaie with us. Newsha is a Senior Strategy and Operations Management Consultant at Deloitte. And I want to tell you, she gives UT Dallas a lot of credit for that achievement. So welcome to yet another UT Dallas MBA GOAT, Newsha.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
You know, I am here in Dallas and you are in California.
Yes.
So a long way from your Texas roots, Newsha.
I know, Orange County. At least
Orange County.
2 hours time's on the way.
Wow. Well, you know, I am so thrilled that we have you on the GOAT podcast today. And one of the reasons that I'm so excited about that is that you fit the profile of exactly why somebody goes and gets an MBA. You know, you got your undergraduate degree outside of the country, and then I think you came and went to the University of Texas at Austin, and then you came here for an MBA. And since you got your MBA, which was only, by the way, 4 years ago, not very long, you have had the opportunity to work at two fabulous consulting firms. So can you share with our audience this afternoon how the MBA program at UT Dallas really helped you launch that consulting career?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My pleasure to give back to the whole UT Dallas community and any potential prospect student who are seeking to change their life and career for better opportunities. My career, I started as an architecture engineer in Iran. And in 2009, I immigrated to the U.S., attended UT Austin, where I got my master's degree in urban design and planning, graduated in 2011 at the worst job market ever. We can't say that was the worst because we're going to face another wave possibly as we are facing under the implication of COVID these days. But it came out when, no one was hiring. I was on, like all companies were on hiring freeze, and I needed sponsorship and the rest of the complications for an immigrant. I was lucky that I landed on one of the top architecture and design firms in Dallas. And I moved to Dallas right after school. And all the job and life goals that I had in my mind, still that job was not brain stimulating enough for me, and it was not aligned with my goal for my future life. So I started digging and researching about what can change my life, and I knew that I'm not going to go to medical school. It's kind of late for me to start software engineering education or something like that. So business was the best bet for me.
And then you chose us. I mean, yes, over all of the competitive options that you had in the marketplace to come and really change the trajectory of your career. So what was it about UT Dallas that gave you this idea, hey, if I go do this and move away from, what I've been doing technically, and I go get this degree, how is that going to launch this, two great jobs at E&Y and Deloitte, both in the last 4 years since you came to UT Dallas? Can you share a little bit about how you chose us?
Yeah, the reason I chose UT Dallas is first, the whole UT system. So I had a degree and I had the experience of University of Texas at Austin. So I knew already UT system. My second element was return on investment. So UT Dallas is a great school, but relatively a high ranking in MBA when you check it on US News and among other competitors. It's not an Ivy League, we all know that, but outside of the Ivy League, it's a good school with good reputation. Compared to other competitors to UT Dallas, SMU was my next option, but financially that was not a viable option at all. And SMU's ranking versus UT Dallas, when you check it on US News and the rest of them, is not making a huge difference. So I thought maybe it doesn't worth paying double the tuition to go to SMU versus when I have the option of going to UTD. So I chose UTD. I don't want to name the rest of the options that are available in Dallas, because for me, the two major options that I considered were SMU and UTD outperforms SMU in terms of return on investment and the quality.
Newsha, we love that. UT Dallas outperforms. In fact, that may be the headline for the entire podcast. So I was told by a little bird that when you were in the MBA program, that you just were not going to settle for anything less than the career that you wanted. Yes. So can you tell us a little bit about that crusade that you had to make this incredible career happen for yourself? And what role did we play in helping make that happen?
So when I first talked with Sean Albors.
So Sean Albors, who is now our Associate Dean for Undergraduate Business Education.
Yeah, he supported me a lot in terms of giving me information about the whole cohort system. And I was a little bit hesitant if it's a doable option, working full-time and coming to school full-time in the afternoon. And Sean told me that it's very much doable. People do that. People have kids. They do it. You can do it. So he encouraged me a lot. And I was like, Sean, I don't even know the business dictionary, the business, very basic business verbiage. If you tell me dividend, I don't know what a dividend is. And I learned that in my MBA. And he said, like, we're gonna teach you all of this. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to business school, if I'm going to sweat a lot to make this happen, I want to be a management consultant. And one of my friends, at that time, she had just started at Deloitte. She had changed her career. She went to UNC, got her MBA, and she landed a management consulting position at Deloitte. And she told me about this whole management consulting career. And I was like, this is the best fit for me. This is enough brain stimulating. This is like solving puzzles in the business world. This is being doctors to businesses. This is what I want to do. And I am ready to invest this kind of money and time and effort to harvest management consulting career after 2 years.
It's an amazing story. I mean, people, you read the Wall Street Journal and Forbes, and you talk about the prospective candidates that choose the Wharton School or Stanford or Columbia, and they're all in pursuit of a management consultant position. And now, 4 years out from the degree, you're a senior strategy and operations management consultant for Deloitte. So I'm kind of curious, when you're solving all these puzzles and figuring out all of these complicated problems and solving them for your clients, how often do you reflect back to what happened in the classroom? And can you think of a couple of examples that, wow, I think about this all the time?
All the business cases we had as a homework. So that's management consulting. So there are, like during the core MBA courses, we are given Harvard business cases, and we team up with classmates, and we start like, okay, what the situation is, what kind of problem we are solving, what kind of data we need, what results the professors is expecting us to produce. That's my day-to-day life at work. So all those business cases we were solving for and core MBA courses, that's management consulting. Every single day, it takes me back to those classrooms at UTD.
You know, we always tell brand new MBA students, and I know you probably remember this, that, you know, you can learn how to solve a problem, but half of the battle is solving the right problem.
Yep.
And then being able to answer that question of your clients when they say, well, so what if you found all this data? I imagine in your role now for your clients, you're thinking back to how to identify root cause problems and be able to solve the right problem for them.
Yep, exactly. Like when we go to the client, they know what their pain points are, but they don't know what exactly is going wrong, that the business is not working smoothly as it's supposed to be. It's under the implication of they've either gone through a merger and acquisition, or their cost is high, or their program management is not aligned with their corporate goals. A lot of that.
So that must be really fun. I mean, Newsha, you must have fun every day. I mean, an MBA student would probably say, I don't want to have case homework every day, but you're living case homework every day.
Every day, yeah. You don't know what the problem is until you start conducting multiple rounds of interviews with different stakeholders. You got to identify who's the right person to talk to, and they throw the information at you. And, you know, sometimes the detectives that you watch on Netflix, those kind of shows, that they pin up a bunch of photos and notes, and they start connecting them together to solve the whole problem and come up with some sort of resolution. That's what we do in management consulting. So we are in front of the whiteboard, writing stuff and grouping them, like bucketing the pain points and coming up with resolution and conclusion.
Well, I know I'm addicted to NCIS and Law and Order and forensic shows, watching how they kind of pin that all together. When you think back on the MBA program, what was your favorite course?
Financial management.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
a very early course.
Yes. Semester 2. That one and operations management. And it is, you can tell my focus was, my MBA concentration was major finance, minor operations.
Did you ever think that you were going to fall in love with finance when you started the MBA program?
I fell in love with finance. I'm fascinated by numbers, to be honest. Like, people tell me that you chose the wrong career, like architecture did not have enough math for you. I was very strong in math in high school. I liked art and like creation, but back at that time, data did not look as fascinating as it is right now. Like, people did not know that data could be a creative pieces of a Lego to generate insights and products out of the data back in that day when I was in high school. So I chose architecture to feed my brain with creation and building something. But it didn't have enough math for me. But finance has enough math, not technical math, but the kind of math that you generate insight to make your personal life and business working better for you.
Wow, that's terrific.
This episode is brought to you by the UT Dallas MBA program, top ranked nationally and in Texas. The UT Dallas MBA combines a robust core with 13 concentrations. You have an option to add a second master's degree, and your choices for that include 5 STEM designated programs. The MBA program has full-time, part-time, online, and other formats. They give you flexibility to fit your MBA education into your busy schedule. The skills and training you will receive are what top employers are looking for. For more information, visit us online at jindal.utdallas.edu/MBA.
Has the impact of COVID-19 changed how you're doing work as a management consultant?
You know, the whole travel part of management consulting, some people like that, some people don't. I love the traveling part of it. It's very brutal. It's kind of hard to balance your work life, because sometimes I'm living in the LA area, and sometimes my clients are in Boston, Hartford. So flight is like 7-8 hours each way every week. Under COVID, we are not doing that flying. So I'm being more productive in terms of using my time. But there is a challenge of you don't see the client face to face and you have to run those workshops and interviews. It's kind of hard to engage people on the other side of the camera / computer. And for every single, messaging you want to send to the clients, either a meeting and then people are not available for the meeting and then you got to type every single word you want or make a phone call. So that's the frustrating part of that. But there are both goods and bads. But one good thing about the whole consulting career is it's very flexible.
Absolutely.
We barely go to the office, worked from home already before the COVID started. When we were not a client, we were easily working from home.
Wow.
So when the COVID started, it did not impact us much. In terms of work style, just the travel part got canceled, but the flexibility of work style and consulting makes it very resilient to incidents like COVID or similar risks to that.
So if you were going to talk to a prospective student that came out of another highly technical background that wanted to be a leader in an organization, evolve above managing the real technical so that they're driving strategy, what would you say to them? What would the arguments be to invest in an MBA? I mean, you did it the hardest way. I always tell incoming students that if you're going to be in our evening cohort program or our evening flex program, that is absolutely the hardest way to get an MBA. Because you are, you're juggling a family, you might be juggling a spouse or a partner, you're juggling travel, work, you're kind of doing it the hardest way. So what would you say to that prospect about why this is really worth the time and effort and the sacrifice?
Actually, coming from a heavy technical background to MBA to switch career to more toward leadership position is the greatest fit these days, as far as I'm seeing from the management consulting perspective. Successful people, I don't say successful people, let's say successful profile that makes finding job easier in management consulting for people goes to people who are coming with the background in accounting and finance and BBA, or coming from technology, computer science, coding, IT, information management system. Those are the basic, I say, bread and butter career routes. Because consulting these days, even in the strategy part, is going more toward technology. There is a lot of enterprise system implementation going around that needs someone who knows both enterprise management building blocks and technology building blocks. So MBA gives you the knowledge that what process improvement is, like how to realign an enterprise processes on the technology side. What are the building blocks for designing an ERP system or implementing an ERP system to let those processes happen automatically, automating those processes. Automation comes with your technology background. Processes come with your MBA. That's a golden combination. And I think those kind of people will be very successful, at least in the management consulting work.
So while you were in the program, Newsha, did you have an opportunity to kind of connect and make friends while you were in the program, people that you've stayed in touch with in the last 4.5 years?
Yeah, actually, I was in Portland for a client with Deloitte a year and a half ago, for a long time, near 1 year. And I figured that Justin, who was my cohort, he's moved to Portland, he's living there. And I stopped by at his house, but they had a little cute baby, and I had a dinner with them. And then a couple of weeks after, I learned from Justin that he ran into my sister, who was his neighbor. And because the lookalike, Justin was like, "Is it you again?" So yeah, I'm definitely in touch with my cohort. I have them on LinkedIn. So we can talk about that, how I landed on a job at EY. That happened at UT. So one of my classmates helped me to make the connection to land at EY, find myself an opportunity for management consulting at Ernst & Young.
So we tell students all the time that an MBA is partly about knowledge and mostly about networking.
Mostly about networking.
Yeah. So it sounds to me that because of the relationship you had with your classmates, that they helped you engineer your change of direction into management consulting. And without that kind of connection, that might have been much more difficult to make happen.
Oh, or even impossible.
Wow.
Yep.
So when you look back and I imagine, you might have had a family while you were in the program, working like crazy, going to school like crazy. What was your drink of choice while you were in the program? Did you drink 8 million cups of coffee? Did you drink 10 billion cups of coffee? Or were you a Diet Coke crazy? I mean, how many cups of coffee did you drink in the program?
Yeah, coffee and tea, even though I preferred wine and tequila at that time. But believe it or not, I dropped 10 to 12 pounds weight over my MBA program because I was not drinking alcohol, because I needed my brain to work for me perfectly 24/7. I was either at work or at school, or I was doing homework. So my go-to type drink was coffee and tea.
That is so, Newsha, that is so funny, because I can just see our new marketing campaign. Enroll in a tough MBA program, guaranteed weight loss.
Yeah, don't tell them that they may need facelift, because literally under the pressure of not having enough sleep and being stressed out and the rest of it, I keep making fun of my photos, telling my friends that I have before and after MBA photos. Like I aged.
Well,
I aged, but I lost weight.
So an MBA program that lands you a great career, that helps you lose 10 pounds, but requires that you then get a facelift. Yes. We won't tell people about that part.
Yes.
Who was your favorite professor in the program and why?
So my financial management, what's her last name? Reichert?
Carolyn Reichert.
Yes. I love her. I miss her a lot. I still look back and flip through my notes from her class.
Well, it sounds like you had an incredible journey and an incredible experience. If you were to play with me a little bit and kind of fill in the blanks a little bit, I'm going to ask you some sentences.
Okay.
What specifically do you credit UT Dallas with in helping you achieve your career aspirations?
Keeping me hopeful all the time when I was so down and pessimistic about reaching my goals. And I give that credit to Lisa Schatz and Fiona Hunter, both.
So Lisa Schatz, the Assistant Dean for MBA programs, and Fiona Hunter, who's the Associate Director for the Career Management Center, they kept you plowing away.
Yeah. Lisa was like, you got to do this and that. It's hard, but you get that. She reviewed my resume multiple times and she was like, you get it. This is not impossible. You want management consulting, you get there, do this and that. And I promise it will happen. And it happened. She was pushing me not to lose my hope.
Wow. That's really quite a great compliment, not only to Lisa, but to the program. So, Newsha, what would you want to say to somebody that would want to argue in today's environment that an MBA isn't worth the return on investment? What would be that catchphrase that you would say back to them to make them reconsider?
It depends what kind of career they have and what their expectations are from their MBA. So, return on investment has two folds. It's either return on investment on your tuition. So you pay $50K, $60K if it's going to push out off your payroll to, I don't know, make it double or triple, certainly do that. The other aspect of return on investment is I always call MBA lesson for life. This is basically not for business. This is MBA structures the way you think about any decision you're making in your life. It's either, working on a legal case for yourself, or you want to buy a house, you want to make personal investment on the side. Any decision making you have, MBA teaches you to think structurally. That's a return on investment, I think.
What do you miss most about being in school?
Aside from seeing people whom I liked, just the school, to be honest, I'm very much happy that I'm done with school. It's not about UTD, but it's about studying. I have 3 graduate degrees, and I think when I got my MBA, I said, I'm done. I'm not going to get back to school anymore.
Newsha, I would say you're a bit of an overachiever, but that overachievement has certainly paid off.
It did. And the MBA for sure.
Well, you sound like you have accomplished, and you are so satisfied with the outcomes that you achieved as a result of making the choice to come to UT Dallas and do the absolute hardest MBA program option that we have. If you were going to give a verbal commercial for the UT Dallas MBA program, what would you include in that commercial?
I say I get back to return on investment. It is very hard because, Dallas is a great city. The whole DFW is a great job market. It's a great city. Finding a good school with that quality, with 50, 60K in tuition, is next to impossible somewhere else, or at least at my knowledge. Return on investment is the best you get for your buck at UTD.
Well, I can't argue with that for sure. Newsha, it has been a pleasure to have you on yet another UT Dallas MBA GOAT. And of course, GOAT stands for greatest of all time. And when I look at somebody that came into a program, made their mind up to change where they wanted their life to flow, you nailed it. And so congratulations to you for your hard work, for your achievement. And most of all, thank you for giving UT Dallas credit. And at least for a part of what has made you so terrific at your job at Deloitte Consulting. So I'll remind the audience that Newsha Mirzaie is at Deloitte Consulting as a senior strategy and operations management consultant, the creme de la creme job that most MBAs want to get. And you have accomplished so much, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to give back to my UTD community, for sure. If I'm ever in the Dallas area, definitely I will stop by to say hi to all of you. I don't know how soon we can hug each other, but definitely I need a hug from all of you because UT Dallas changed my life forever.
Well, we love that. Thank you so much, Newsha. And then also, Kadafis.
Kadafis.
Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope that you were inspired by the words you heard from one of our greatest of all time MBA GOATs. If you were inspired to think about getting an MBA degree, I hope that you'll be in touch with us. Give us a call, drop us an email, hop on our website, be in touch with us so that we can help you make a difference in your future. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of yet another MBA GOAT podcast. Join us online at MBAGoat.com to find episode notes, links, and more. Be sure to subscribe to yet another MBA GOAT podcast on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review. That will help spread the word about the podcast and the Jindal School's MBA programs. To learn more about the Jindal School's MBA programs, go to jindal.utdallas.edu/MBA.